the only way to be richer is to either earn more or want less. And I think now that I want less, I have more. These women are incredibly powerful, but yet I wanted them to be vulnerable. And that to me was really the interesting thing, or the power of the book, because I rendered these women bare, they bared their souls to me.
Welcome to YanaTV. What do you know about breaking stereotypes and crashing the rules and demolishing the status quo? Our guest today, Loretta Chen, is an expert at this. She's a creative role model, a rebel at heart, a theater director, professor, and best-selling author of several books, including launching a new one today, which is called Madonnas and Mavericks, Power Women of Singapore.
That's right.
Where Loretta interviewed presidents, CEOs, celebrities, politicians, and you just name it, she did it basically in her life. We are super lucky.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So it's super thrilled to have you, Loretta.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
It's amazing for us because we did the interview a few years ago.
We did. And was this 3 years ago? Remind me.
It was about 3 years ago.
Do you want to tell our viewers what happened 3 years ago and what I told you?
Do you want to remind that?
I think I remember telling you that I was going to manifest a husband.
Yes, oh, that part, yes. Well, after the interview, when we talk about everything,
right.
I said something like, Loretta, you know, it's a very special place where miracles got manifested, so you can make a wish. Right. And she did. And the wish was?
That I'll meet the love of my life, and I was manifesting a husband, and then I met him. But
a few months later, literally.
Yeah.
Yes, and now she's married. So we do have a happy wedding story here, so which is quite remarkable.
Yes.
But since then, many things has happened for you.
That's right.
So, and now you're here launching the book. And what is the most exciting part about this book for you?
The most exciting part is really about bringing all the women together, because as you know, the 17 women are incredibly illustrious, right? I have everybody from the president to 2 ambassadors, Chan Ping-chi and Jenny Chua. I have CEOs, Nicole Ng, Cynthia Chua, Olivia Lam. I mean, I've got some amazing characters in my book. I've got top athletes, Theresa Goh, top actress Xiang Yun. I mean, just an amazing representation of what makes womanity. So I think the most exciting thing is really curating all these women, getting their stories together, and I've been so moved and I've grown so much just by talking to them. I'm sure you feel the same when you meet amazing people.
Yes.
So the same way I sort of feel like, you know, I'm sort of cheating my readers because I feel I got the most out of it because I get the live experience. So of course, as a writer, what I try to do is to encapsulate what I got out of the live interview and the time I spent with them, and I tried to, you know, pack as much as I could in the book. And what else is amazing about the book is, I think there are many books out there on leadership, on entrepreneurs, on success stories, and I think most books will ask, okay, what is the secret to your success? What makes you so successful? And I decided that I was going to turn that question on its own head and decide to ask the question, well, how did you cope with your biggest failures? How did you cope with the biggest setbacks when you had that slap in the face, that slam in the door, that stab in the back? How did you pick yourself up? Because I think that honestly, not many of us may know what it's like to be a president, may know what it's like to be an ambassador, to be the founder of a multi-million-dollar empire. But I think all of us know what it's like to be a daughter, a sister, a wife, maybe a mother, a citizen, a co-worker. I think these roles are the multifaceted roles that women play. And I think that my book, or at least I like to think that my book somehow pays tribute to that and really exposes the different facets and roles that women play. That really was the intention, because I felt that to just narrow these women down into what's the secret to your success, it's not only downplaying their strife and their challenges and their struggles. I also think that for our readers, what makes it more real is not to just put them on a pedestal and see these women from afar and say, oh, I admire them, but to sort of strip off their shine in this world of social, glamorized social media, and just see them as human beings. And that, hey, if they're human and I'm human, if they can do that, so can I. And I think that was what I really wanted to do. And part of, and to give a very long answer to a very short question, part of the exciting thing is curating these women, because these women are incredibly powerful, but yet I wanted them to be vulnerable. And that to me was really the interesting thing, or the power of the book, because I rendered these women bare, they bared their souls to me, and it's very powerful. Yeah, now you want to read it, right? I can tell.
I like, yes, now I wish we had a copy here, but we don't, so go check the bookstore. So it also redefines the success by a lot, you know, like I feel in a society where we're so driven to just tick off boxes, like you have to make money or career or some kind of fame or recognition, you know, the society constantly pushes us to go there. So what you do is showing the other side.
That's right. And I think after you get a copy of the book and you read the book, you realize that I'm not subscribing to a single version of feminism. In fact, the whole point is, after you've read all these 17 stories, you come out recognizing that there are distinct views on feminism, the distinct views on leadership, the distinct views on entrepreneurship, distinct views on motherhood. All of them have differing views on almost everything. And I think that's what makes it a pulsating, palpable read, because you realize that what is key, the only thing that really unites all these women is that they are women, they're Singaporean, because everything else is so diverse. How I curated these women too, I mean, yes, one, they have to be excellent in their fields, but yet I tried to make sure that I had representation from every race, religion, sexuality. Like I said, the only unifying factor is that they're all women and Singaporean. Everything else, they were so different. Their views are so entirely different. Some women think that it's possible to have it all, and some say, no, it's bloody difficult. Some say, you know, they've had to man up in order to take on their jobs. Some say, no, they really enjoy being feminine and letting all the men do all the work, and then they just come in and use their feminine wiles to get ahead, which is not a bad thing. And it's so interesting to listen to all the diverse views on femininity. And that's where I think the real takeaway is, that they're all same, but so different.
But so different.
Yeah.
Brings us to Singapore, same but different.
That's right.
Yes, we are indeed. And for you, when you were going through this journey, interviewing them, you know, and putting it all together, what is your personal biggest takeaway from everything?
Oh, my biggest takeaway is that, oh my gosh, you strip off everything else, and we're all human, aren't we? I mean, we breathe the same air, we bleed, we hurt, we laugh, we cry, we take that slap in the face, we pick ourselves up, we have our hearts broken and our heart sort of spat out and thrown on the floor, we pick it up again, we jump back on the horse again, and all these women have shown me that they are human. It sounds so cliched or simple, but it's true.
And profound.
Right, but it's like, you would think that our president may give us a glamorized story of herself, but no, she shared with me how it was growing up in poverty-stricken years. They really, bared their soul to me in this book, because what makes the book special is that it has so much depth. Because yes, in today's day and age, they can go online and watch a free video, or they could download a book, or they could go to a free blog. But to get them to pay, money for a book, I felt that I needed to give them some depth. And these women just rose to the challenge and gave me some raw, gripping stories. Yeah.
Which I find very, very amazing.
Yes.
And Loretta, I can also see that your energy changed a lot since I see you last time. It's like, if I may say, it's like much more humble. It's much more like
softer,
aligned, softer, humbler, more inwards. Also speaking about femininity, like in very general terms. We always say that the masculine part, which we all have, men and women, is always the energy outwards, right, into the world, conquering the world. And femininity is the very receptive part, it's understanding and centering. So I can see you, I guess the marriage and the man.
And I think you're absolutely right, because I did the interview with you just before I left for Hawaii, so I think you can really register the change. I feel that too. I find myself slowing down. Like today I just gave a radio interview and I was like, I'm a lot slower than I used to be. And and I was thinking, what happened?
How does it feel? But how does it feel?
I feel that my physical surroundings and my physical self now finally matches my spiritual and real self.
I'm getting goosebumps when you talk.
Because my real self and spiritual self has always been like quite an aloha girl, very relaxed, very carefree, very loving. But being in the city sort of forces you to put on an armor. It's not bad, but it just forces you to put on an armor, you know, sort of huff and puff along and be a little more manly, which I loved, and, you know, banged a couple of tables, which I loved. But I think being in Hawaii has just made me, like you're right, softer. Has brought out more my yin energy, because I used to be so young, you know, and now it's like I feel I have a lot more yin energy, and I'm getting used to it, because like today I will say, like when I was giving my radio interview, because I was a radio presenter and I used to be so much faster, and today I was like, what happened to me? And I realized I'm just more languid.
Yes, I can see more relaxed.
I am.
Which I just have to ask, okay, the next question. Given that we had the interview before and I know a bit of your life story.
Yes.
So after having years being in love with women and getting through all this drama, you know, losing the partners also, and kind of restructuring your life completely.
Right.
So how does it feel now being married to the guy, you know, living in Hawaii and kind of being relaxed? How is that?
And I can honestly say it's blissful. It's like I can't even wipe the grin off my face. And
I can see that.
and it's almost annoying, because you know, your friends will ask you, know, how are you? And you almost wish you had a horrible story to tell. Because if you have a horrible story to tell, you can talk for longer. But if you're quite blissful, then you just say, I'm quite blissful. There's nothing much to tell when you're blissful. There's more to tell when you're angry and then you're annoyed and you're pissed off and you say, oh, this person was really annoying, that person was really annoying, this person pissed me off, that person pissed me off. And I was like, I'm really blissful. There's nothing much to say. My husband's very sweet. He's an architect and he's very supportive of what I do. He's a complete opposite of me. He's an introvert, complete introvert. He doesn't even want to be here during the book launch. I have 3 cats, so we don't intend to have children. I have 3 fur babies. I have my home overlooking the ocean. Like, it's just very blissful.
I really want to come and visit now.
Yeah, come visit. Yeah, and I think it's simpler. I've pared down my life. It's simpler, no more fluff. I probably earn less than I used to in Singapore, like a lot less.
A lot less.
But I feel like I have a lot more, because I think that the only way to be richer is to either earn more or want less. And I think now that I want less, I have more, and I demand so much less out of other people, not in a bad way, but in that I just demand honesty, sincerity, love, friendship, you know, and that's like all I need, and my life is just simpler. Yeah, it truly is.
So I can see it, like you radiate simplicity and relaxedness, you know, all around you.
It's probably just a white dress. Yeah, that kind of
yes.
yeah.
I know you also believe in a lot in karma, right? Do. And you wrote in our paperwork basically before about karma, compassion, and wisdom being the Holy Trinity, right? That you follow. So tell me more about that. I mean, I genuinely believe in karma too. So, but what is your take on that?
I think for me, in 2012 when I went to Bhutan, that was very transformational for me. I was already on my transformational journey. Like you said earlier, I was dating women, and then I decided that I wanted to know what it's like to have a family. And so when I went to Bhutan, I decided that I was really going to understand what having a simpler life is, and I consciously cut down, like I shared with you. So after I went to Bhutan, I think it really started my spiritual awakening and journey, and I decided that, hey, I want to understand what it's like to just be a wife. You know, I never knew. And it was a role that I felt that I never knew how to play. I knew how to play the dutiful daughter. I knew how to play the sister, the spoiled brat sister. I knew how to play, you know, like the girl boss. I don't know how to play a role of wife, you know. I thought I want to explore that, and I had a vision that I would find my better half in Hawaii, and so I went. And I think that it really is a process of karma, because I don't think I've given this interview before, but it's probably not in my consciousness, but my partner that passed away, she's from Hawaii. I never thought about it. I never thought about it until I went to Hawaii.
Another goosebumps.
Yeah, I didn't think I didn't consciously pick Hawaii, but it was just always in my consciousness that it was a place I had to go to. The minute I got off the plane, I felt like I was at home, and I embarked upon getting my green card. A lot of people think that I got married and then I got my green card, but no, I got my green card. Then I decided to go look for a husband, and I found him. And he's not even American. He's
After
Korean.
manifesting here.
That's right. He's Korean. The funny thing is, it was only in hindsight I was like, oh wow, you know, I've always had this calling to go to Hawaii, but I disregarded it. So it surfaced again. So I think there is that karmic connection with Hawaii. I also think in wisdom, because sometimes people can be so overwhelmed. They have a lot of signs. When I think this, I feel that. You know, my heart tells me this. People tell me that. You know, I get a sign from here. I get a text from there. But I think if you centered yourself and really listen to who you want and what you want, I think that is real wisdom, that you can call it for what it is. And I think I heeded my own inner wisdom, and I headed off to Hawaii. That time I didn't have a boyfriend or obviously no husband. It was just me and my little bags, you know, and I just took on this adventure.
So what was the toughest part there? Because also kind of to continue your idea about the book that you said, right? Because when we look at you, and I know your story, and we have another interview with the full story of your life, and you wrote a book about it, right? So you're a very, very public person. Right. And we see this super glamorous, very beautiful, talented woman that has everything going on for her on the global scale, an image, right? Which we know there's also the other side.
Right.
So, and I know that 3 years ago, I think it was 3 years ago, when you left Singapore behind and you decided, I'm gonna try a new life.
Yeah.
So now you built it all together.
Yeah.
But what was the toughest moment, I would say, in the last 3 years?
And I will say that I think it's making a decision you want to let go. And I think the key thing for most people is that they hold back. They want to do something and then they stop because they're afraid. Or they're afraid to let go of what they have. You're afraid to let go of your material comfort. You're afraid to let go of your reputation or the friendships or the bonds you've made. Or you're afraid to let go of your comfort zones. That's the first thing that has to go out the window when you decide to move countries. Nobody knows me, nobody owes me a living. I can't call people and say, hey, I'm Loretta Chen. Like, who cares? You know, oh, you know, I'm so-and-so sister. Who cares? Oh, I'm a director. Yeah, who cares? So you got to be so comfortable with uncertainty. So that's first. So I wouldn't say that was a challenge, but what was a challenge was that just a couple of days before I got married, I had a horrific surfing accident. I ripped both my knees. And as luck would have it, I think I just love to start every chapter of my life with a big bang. And literally, I ripped both my knees just before I got married. And my husband had to care for me, and I got married in a wheelchair. So I think so I think the toughest thing was just staying still and recovering, and obviously it's traumatic, it's painful, but I turned that adversity into opportunity for me to write books. So during those 2 years where I was healing from my injury, I wrote 2 books. So that's what I did. You know, every time I rip a knee, I write a book. I don't intend to rip a knee again, but I have a new book out next year, but no more ripping on my knees. Yeah.
But that's actually phenomenal. You know, it brings us back to the purpose of today when we're launching the book. Yes. And I know you're about to run off, you know. So thank you so much. That was really great to catch up with you here. And guys, as you can see, any obstacles in your life, you know, all you have to do, just stay strong and keep going. That's right. And if you really want to reach something new and amazing, you have to be brave enough to let go of what you have.
And watch YanaTV. And manifest on YanaTV.
Yes, manifest. Come as a guest and manifest on YanaTV. And we talk to you next time. Bye.
Hi, I'm Dr. Loretta Chen, and I'm a big fan of YanaTV, and I strongly recommend that you watch YanaTV if you want a slice of life, you want some karma, wisdom, and compassion with a great dose of humor. Well, watch YanaTV.